All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Week number 4, we got Monday Night Football. Actually, 2 Monday Night Football games again on this week. In this video, we're diving into the Lions and Seahawks game. If you're looking for our Dolphins and Titans video, that's also posted on the channel, so make sure to go check that out. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Lions taking on the Seahawks. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays. Got a couple player props that I'm liking, as well as the same game parlay that I'm kicking around here as well, so make sure to stick around for that. But as always, guys, all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If you do want to fade me, all of those plays are going to be listed out in the pinned comment. Before we jump into this one, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys have been absolutely crushing it as of late. You guys have, not me. You guys have, so I appreciate the hell out of that. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and let me know what you're rolling with in this game in the comments down below. I know a lot of people help out a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people that are smarter and sharper than me. But let's dive into this one. We'll go through kind of both teams and where I think maybe they have an advantage, starting with Seattle. They have a good defense so far by numbers, right? But they've played Denver, Bo Nix, rookie quarterback, New England, Jacoby Brissett. Then they played Miami, this high-powered offense, but with Skylar Thompson at the helm because 2 is out. So I don't know if the numbers tell the whole story here with Seattle, but based on DVOA rankings, as well as them being the 4th lowest scored team against this year, I guess you could say they have a good defense through the first 3 weeks. Small sample size, and their sample size is littered with bad teams. But overall, that is kind of a good spot for them in terms of what they've done so far. Now, where I think their real advantage, and if you do like the Seahawks, I think their win or cover could come by way of this, and it's the wide receivers. We've seen teams that have multiple wide receivers or guys that can perform do really well against this Lions team. Cooper Kupp, obviously, you know, Puka Nacua goes out, but Cooper Kupp torches them. Then they had Godwin and Mike Evans look good. Marvin Harrison looked good, and Wilson and Dortch also, you know what I mean? So we've seen some wide receivers have some good games against this Detroit team. They're a good run defense, not a great pass defense. So if the Seahawks go out and cover or win this one outright, I think it'll come by way of the pass. But they're going to have to rely on that defense. And I don't know if I'm ready to say that defense is legit or real yet. Like, this is their first test, right? So we'll see how that goes. But having those 3.5 points in your back pocket when you're a passing offense with 3 really good receivers out there could come in handy towards the end of the game. But not come in handy enough for me. I will say I'm leaning towards the Lions, the minus 3.5 points. We'll get into them in just a second. If I were to roll with this one, you can expect a minus 2.5 or a minus 3 in the pin comment. I'll pay a little bit extra juice just to get inside a field goal, or at least at a field goal. That 3.5 would absolutely burn to be hooked by. So I don't like that number. If you're on the Seahawks, definitely shop around for the 4s. I think I've seen some 4s out there, but I would most likely look at 2.5 or minus 3 buying the point. Now, why do I like Detroit? Well, 1, I think they're a little bit more tested than Seattle here in this spot. And 2, they have a really, really good defense other than the passing game. I get it, but that run defense is very, very good, and they're going up against a Seattle team that is dead last this year in terms of rushing yards per game. If they can't establish any sort of run, that's only going to benefit Detroit's secondary, knowing pass is coming, not having to guess at, is it a run, is it a pass? They're not going to bite on the play action. Like, I just don't think that they get burned as much as they have so far this year. They went up against Kyron Williams, who looked okay in week 1, right? James Conner, like, there has been some presence on the ground against them, and I think Kenneth Walker is going to be playing in this one. But overall, it just doesn't strike me as a good spot for Seattle to get sort of a passing total rhythm going if they really can't get anything on the ground, which, again, Detroit very good at stopping the run so far this year. And another spot that definitely suits Detroit well to kind of like fare well in this game is the fact that they've been a really good 3rd down team this season, whereas on offense for Seattle, they haven't been all that great, and defensively for Detroit on 3rd down, they've been getting teams off the field. So definitely a good spot looking them as well. If we have this crucial play when they know the pass is coming, they don't have to worry about the run, and they're already a good sound defense on 3rd down. I think that could be a big deal over here. So I lean towards Detroit. I just haven't seen enough of Seattle. I think that's the biggest thing that I want them to be tested. I want to see how legitimate they are before jumping in and rolling with a lower number like this at plus 3.5. If they were like plus 7.5, then sure, I'd definitely consider it. In terms of a total here at 46, I'm going to lean slightly towards the over, though I'm talking about the defenses and all that. I still think we could see like a 27 to maybe 21 game, which is 48 points. I think that we could definitely carve something like that out. The offense for, Detroit is very, very dynamic. They have good backs, good receivers, even Sam Laporta, who I do like in this spot odd as well, as Seattle struggled against tight ends this year. Hunter Henry kind of skews that. He had a career game against them, but I still see ways that both teams can kind of take some chunk plays and put numbers up. So yeah, I see more of like a 27-21 type scoring game, which would be a couple points over the over here. So I'd much rather roll Detroit, minus the 2.5 or minus the 3 than I would the total, but that's just in terms of what I'm leaning towards. That is where I'm leaning total wise. Now, before we do get into player props, let me talk to you guys about a player prop that is absolutely a freebie. Or it should be. It's not in this game, but it is in the other Monday night game. Tyreek Hill over on underdog, 0.5 total yards. He can run, he can catch. As long as he gets 1 yard, this bad boy cashes. And if you use the link in the pinned comment and go sign up and deposit over on underdog, you're going to get up to $1,000 in a deposit bonus. Absolute no-brainer, and you get this free square. Go check it out. That link, again, is in the pinned comment. It's also in the description if you're looking for it as well. Go check out Underdog, guys. Really, really cool app for player props and things like that. So go check it out. Link in the pinned comment. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some player props. And I kind of already mentioned it, sort of the way that I'm looking at this game and what I like. And at least for the Seattle side of things, yes, I do envision Detroit winning this game, but I like the idea of both Tyler Lockett, whether you want to look at his receptions or his receiving yards. I like his overs there. Same thing with DK Metcalf. Now his receptions at 4.5, really, really juiced. I'm not all that thrilled with. His receiving yards definitely high after 2 back-to-back 100-yard games. But overall, we've seen, like I said, some teams fare pretty well against this Detroit secondary, which again, overall, through the air, they're only ranked 20th, right, in terms of receiving yards allowed, but they're ranked 32nd against wide receivers specifically, and especially outside receivers. Now, I know Lockett will mix it up in the slot and whatnot, but so does Jackson Smith-Njigba. There's a reason why he's not on this. I think that some of these bigger names or bigger, favored targets could be the guys to look at. So yes, I do like him, but I think that you could have like a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 do a lot more damage than, say, your slot or wide receiver 3 against this Detroit team. So Tyler Lockett, I'd probably lean towards his receptions. I could see him being a little bit of a binky here. You could see he's hit it in 2 of the 3 games this season, and obviously, receptions allowed, they also rank dead last there. In terms of his target share, he's not getting more targets than Jackson Smith-Njigba, but this is the guy that I think Detroit's going to focus on to take out. Obviously, they'll think about stopping DK Metcalf. Easier said than done, but I think Lockett's the guy that's under the radar here that's going to have 4 catches for maybe 41 to 46 yards. So I like him. Keep an eye on the pin comment to see what we roll with. Like I said, I also like DK, not necessarily his receptions, but his receiving yards. It's just such a high number now because of his 2 games here. I looked at his longest reception, 23.5. Like, they'll air it out and they'll try it out, so that's definitely something to look at, but I think that we can get this at 22.5. You could see it's gone from 22.5 to 23.5 to 22.5 back to 23.5. So if we wait on this one, I think that we might be able to get a 22.5 there. And then one I haven't really talked about, I kind of mentioned tight ends against the Seattle team. I like Sam Laporta. 5 receptions for plus 122 odds. Seems like I could be talked into that. Maybe his receiving yards line, he's missed in 2 games. Obviously got banged up as well. I think he is confirmed playing here in this spot, but 37.5 yards, I don't mind that. I already looked at a same game parlay, which I'm pretty close to placing. It would be Tyler Lockett 3+ catches, so over 2.5. DK Metcalf 4+ catches, and then Sam Laporta 2+ catches. On FanDuel, that came to minus 110. So that's also something that I'm kicking around, but I like the tight end here for Detroit, and then something along the lines of the receivers for Seattle. And by the way, guys, the tool that I'm using is called Outlier. I have a 7-day free trial link in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. It's awesome for player props. You can see we can go through all the player props offered, their last 5, last 10, head-to-head, this year, last year, hit rates. You could search for it to say we wanted to look at, Laporta. We could start typing in his name. You can see all of his props and the hit rates right there, as well as the odds. And speaking of the odds, the cool thing is, say we wanted to go and place this, right? 37.5. You can look at all the lines. 37.5. Okay, we like it on FanDuel, right? Let's click FanDuel. You can scan it on your phone or just continue in browser, and it's going to literally throw it into your bet slip right here. You don't have to go digging for it or anything like that. So really, really cool, guys. Again, 7-day free trial with the link in the pinned comment if you do want to check out Outlier. But that's what I got for you in today's video. To recap, I lean Lions minus the points, but I'd want to buy something to get it down under a field goal. I don't mind the over. It's not something I'm in love with, but I could see this being, a few points higher. And then in terms of what we're seeing from player props, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, something going on there, as well as a potential look at Sam Laporta on the Detroit side of things. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment 9, one of our quicker videos here, but that lets me know that you made it to the end of the video, and I appreciate the hell out of that. I love seeing all the familiar usernames and whatnot, watching all these videos all the way through. So appreciate that. Obviously a quick one here, but yeah, simple enough. I think a lot of people are buying into the Seattle team because they're 3-0, but I look at the teams they've played, not so much for me. And I think Detroit's been tested a little bit more, and just in general are the better team. So that's where my head's at. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.